Oh, wow. First and foremost, congratulations to the Baltimore Ravens. Y'all got the job done, and you are moving on to the divisional round. And for the second consecutive time that we meet in the playoffs, you guys come out on top. At first, 2008 AFC Championship game to go to Super Bowl 43, it was us who came out on top. Divisional game in 2010 en route to Super Bowl 45, it was us who came out on top. Wildcard 2014, it was you guys who got the job done. And for the very first time ever that we meet in the postseason in Baltimore, it was you guys who got the W, and now we're 2-2. But regardless, you took care of business and absolutely embarrassed us. So big time W over to you guys. Lamar Jackson, you're going to go and get that third MVP. And I've always said, as it comes to the Ravens and Steelers rivalry, it's built on respect. It's not like all the other teams in the AFC North. It's built on respect, so I can show respect to those who have since earned it. So definitely congratulations to you guys. Now, as a Pittsburgh, have you no shame? Now, granted, I didn't expect too much coming into this game. I don't think there's a single Pittsburgh Steelers fan that was so super optimistic about what was going to go down, right? But let me tell you something. Defensively, did we even want to stop the running game? Like, I remember watching Steeler teams that didn't allow 100-yard rushers for entire seasons. Derrick Henry had 100 yards in the first half. Now, albeit, this is a future Hall of Fame running back, but my God, nobody had any form of pride in that first half. I'll give credit to Pittsburgh in the second half. Y'all actually decided to go out there, grow a set, and try to fight down the stretch. But even though there was that final kneel down from Lamar, Baltimore ran 49 total times for 300 yards. The final total is going to say 298, but they ran for 300 yards on a Pittsburgh Steelers defense. That right there showcases how weak that we are, not only on the field, but mentally off the field. We're not a team that is serious whatsoever. I said this last week in the post game after Cincinnati. We're a healthy scratch for damn near a bye week. Like, if Lamar Jackson wasn't somewhat limping towards the tail end of this game, or I should say wincing, given the pain that was inflicted to him towards the ribs, you would have never known that we even played against Baltimore. There was a time in where Pittsburgh used to play somebody and you felt them. That's not the case nowadays, right? Third downs, it doesn't really matter. They're going to go over there and convert. Offensively, in the first half, we looked god-awful. Guys can't catch footballs. Guys can't seem to get open. Line can't block up front. Russell don't know how to make his reads or get rid of the football and find somebody. I don't know what the hell it was that we were doing. Second half, we actually started to play a little bit of football, started to stretch the field. We remember George Pickens is on the roster. He actually made a couple of good plays. I actually enjoyed the fact that when we started to make plays in that third quarter, you didn't see a whole lot of celebrating. You didn't see none of that. It was business as usual. Yo, I'm catching the damn football. I'm going to make a touchdown. I'm going to go to the end zone. Yo, we running back to the sideline. Ain't nobody getting overly, because you recognize that you was down. But unfortunately, when we attempted to try to go and make a rally late, it was already too late because we couldn't get no stops on defense, and then ultimately the offense was not very efficient. I said this in my pregame earlier today. If Pittsburgh were to go out there and score 3 or 4 touchdowns, that's the only way things would be interesting, because the story would be the offense, not the defense. And what do you know? Pittsburgh finds a way to open up a whole other door because the defense decided not to play football whatsoever. TJ Watt didn't record a single statistic. He was battling. Cameron Hayward, this might be the last game he ever played. He was battling, but wasn't enough. I'll say this much. Joey Porter, fam, I don't know who you're going to have to go visit in the offseason, but you're going to have to do something, because it seems like every single game, not only is it one flag, you're a multiple flag offender. Every single time I see 24 in the secondary, Flag on the play, defensive holding, pass interference, illegal contact, whatever the case just so happens to be. This man is attracted to flags. It's June 14th every time that Joey Porter's on the football field because it's flag day. This man is ready to have that flag thrown into the air. I will say this much. There was one moment that I didn't quite understand. Mark Andrews snuck for the first down. Pittsburgh had 12 or 13 on defense. The referees never threw the flag until after they were deliberating about where to spot the football. That makes absolutely no sense. It played no role in us losing this game, but the referees' inconsistency, this brought it back to Kansas City game on Netflix on Christmas, where it was the catch that wasn't a catch and replay assist didn't come in. I'm very confused about how the officiating is going, but that plays no role in us losing this doggone game. Overall, this brand of football that we play will continue to keep us exactly where we've been since 2019, middle of the pack. Middle of the pack. We may not be at the bottom of the league where we're competing for high draft picks, but we're certainly not at the top of the league where you're competing for Lombardis. We're just essentially coasting. Every single year, that's what we are. And something's got to change. And I said this before, I'll say it again. For Mike Tomlin, if he were to have left Pittsburgh when Big Ben retired, I'd have no problem. Now it seems like you've become the Doc Rivers of the NFL. You're living off of that 2008 championship. And to make matters worse, you've done nothing since the longest streak in Steelers history where we've lost consecutive postseason games. 6 years. 6 attempts in the playoffs. We haven't been able to get a single victory. And moreover, every single one of them has been embarrassing. Not a single one of them has been in a situation to where you can actually end the damn season and be like, yo, you know what? We got something to look forward to next year. Not a single one of them. And this game here, 300 yards on the ground, over 400 plus total. Matter of fact, I think Baltimore was at what, 450? How many yards did Lamar throw for? Like 160 something? Bro, you have no shame? 400 plus, 450 plus yards of total offense on your head top? Terrell Austin, you've got to go. There's got to be some form of disciplinary action. And Mike Tomlin, hey, listen, you may have ran your course because as far as I'm concerned, if you're gone, I got no problem. I got no problem because this mediocrity cannot stand. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Pittsburgh isn't like those bottom-feeding franchises where you go into the season and you're already expecting to not only not, compete, but you're not playing for anything. You don't go into the season like, all right, cool, yo, we're rebuilding, we're tanking, we're already playing for a draft pick in late September. That's not the type of franchise that Pittsburgh is. But if we're going to be a team that's playing this way, I would much rather know that coming in. I'm tired of this whole, no losing season. What does that get you? No losing season, 18 years. We got one championship we played into, and we haven't won a playoff game in 8 years. That's 2 presidential terms. We're coming up on a decade. We haven't done anything. And moreover, when was the last time we were a threat? 2017? Come on, man. This ain't gonna cut it. This ain't gonna cut it. We're playing god-awful. I don't know what moves we're going to have to mess around and do. Because let me tell you something right now. A number of motherfuckers don't need to be on this team next year. A number of motherfuckers do not need to be on this team next year. Offensive, Broderick Jones, this might have been your last game, fam. The issues that happened in the beginning of the doggone season, upwards, up until now, you might just mess around and have to be go. George Pickens, the attitude issues, the lack of effort, everything of that nature, you might mess around and have to, be up out of here. Russell Wilson, this toxic positivity that everybody out here throwing around. Because let me tell you something, Russell Wilson's attitude, if this is what was going on like off the field in everyday life, you want a guy like that around you. But in the football field, on the gridiron where emotions need to be there, that's the wrong way to approach things. Like, we'll get him next time. There is no next time. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. And unfortunately, we was out there looking like we already packed our bags and ready for vacation before the game even kicked off. That whole first half was indicative of a team that was already prepared to go and stamp their doggone passport. People was thinking about the Turks and Caicos. Other people was thinking about Tulum, Mexico. Some people was trying to go to Santorini, Greece. Some people wanted to go to Kyoto, Japan. I think somebody was thinking about going over to Thailand. Some was going to motherfucking Maui. Somebody was thinking about Milan. Maybe somebody wanted to go to Ghana. Somebody was getting ready to head over to the motherfucking Egypt, go see the pyramids. Whatever the case just so happened to be. People was already checked out immediately. Nobody was trying to make tackles. Nobody was trying to extend plays. Nobody was trying to inflict any kind of damage to the opponent. Nobody even tried to go and blow somebody the fuck up, because I said this during the live stream. Even if you're in a situation where you know you're not about to make the play, put somebody on their ass. Make them feel you. I'm not saying go over there and miscellaneously go out there and get yourself a flag or something of that nature. But hey, you see the fullback who's coming through the damn gap, but you see Henry or Lamar's going to go and bounce it to the outside. If you know you're not going to make the play over there, lay somebody on their motherfucking ass. Crack their damn helmet open. Do a situation where you make them feel you and they're going to fear you. But that's not the case. We don't have that kind of identity. And it's about time we try to restore that. And I don't think the current regime that we have right now is going to be able to go and do it. I truly don't think the current regime that we have right now is going to be able to go and do it. Now, I know the Rooneys aren't one to go out there and fire coaches for all intents and purposes, but I think there needs to be a conversation that's had with Mike Tomlin, because there comes a point in which we need to have a change. And I know some people are going to sit around and make their arguments like, well, he's overperformed with underperforming, quarterbacks or whatever the case may be, 2019 moving forward. But there comes a point where if anybody who's been a Steeler fan for a bulk share of time, we lose in a very similar fashion, where we're unprepared, we don't have intensity, and above all else, we lack effort. If dudes was hauling ass after every single play, diving, jumping over folks, giving it their all, and we lose, all right. But I can guarantee you, vast majority of the team, they ain't empty the tank. They got a whole lot of motherfucking energy that's out there. I would rather we lose and we walking off the field looking like Kellen Winslow in the playoff game against Miami in the early 80s, where you need assistance to get off the field. Motherfuckers should have been on the sideline pumping IVs. You down 21-0. You got 30 minutes that's remaining for the rest of your season. You ain't gonna play football again for 7 more months. They should have been out there giving it 100%, but that wasn't the case. Now, granted, they did attempt there in the second half, but as far as I'm concerned, collectively, this is not a very good football team. The Chargers had 6-0 lead. They got outscored 32-6. They performed substantially better than we did, and we scored more points than them. I said it last week. I'll say it again. We are the worst team in the playoffs this year again. 2 years consecutive. And really, over the past 5 years, what do we really have to show for anything? We're not a team that goes out there and tries to win. We're a team that sits on the sideline waiting to lose. That's the identity of Mike Tomlin's Pittsburgh Steelers. This ain't the 2010s where we got a juggernaut on offense, and then when we finally have a defense, we don't have an offense. We're just a team that's waiting to lose. We've got some individual players who can go and make plays, but collectively, this ain't a team that is worth buying a ticket for. So I say all that to say, we've got to switch everything up. I would personally like to see Justin Fields return next year. Russell Wilson, I think, hey, this has been an all right year. Get him up out of here. You go where it is that you have to go. If at anything, if you're on the Pittsburgh sideline, you're a backup, sir. Give Justin Fields a chance. He's now in an offense. Give that man an opportunity to go and do something. But as far as I'm concerned, this brand of football, this ain't going to get us nowhere. Because it's going to be the same old story. Year in, year out. Same old Steelers. It's SOS every single goddamn year. There's literally nothing worth looking forward to with this football team. It's the same thing. You start out the season, it could be either a high or a low. We catch a stride. Then all of a sudden, chirps come in, talk about Tomlin, coach of the year. Rich Eisen gets on his soapbox, talks about, oh man, Pittsburgh Steelers fans are crazy. If Mike Tomlin were to leave, another team would scoop him up within 30 seconds, all that other stuff, and then a December collapse. And then we walk into the playoffs and we serve absolutely no purpose whatsoever. Because again, we're a team that isn't trying to win. We're a team that sits on the sideline and waits to lose. So with that being said, shout out to everybody who tuned in for the year. But our season is done and we are inserted into the Death Note again. For now, the 15th consecutive year. We're in a drought, gentlemen. We're in a drought. And until we win a Lombardi, it's incredibly difficult to drink. Steelers on 3, season done on 6. 1, 2, 3 Steelers, 4, 5, 6 season done. That's it. Clear out your lockers. Year done. Hopefully you enjoy your off season because it's another Super Bowl year and it ain't us.